Hey everyone, I'm so excited to be here today to introduce you to our amazing panel that Mina was just sharing with you. My name is Marie Mimiaga and I am the Youth Program Manager. So really that just means I'm Mina's sidekick. And it's so wonderful to have you all here today. If you are looking to create your own advisory board within your organization, you're in the right place. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our amazing panel, the Movement Genius Advisory Team. I'm going to ask each member of the advisory board team to introduce themselves with their name, their pronouns, and their role. So either Headstream Innovator, Headstream Professional Advisor, or Headstream Youth Advisor. So to kick us off, I'll pass over to Corey.
Hello, I'm Corey. I use she, her pronouns, and I am one of the innovators.
Adam?
Yeah, hi, I'm Adam, he, him. I am one of the professional advisors.
Simone?
Hi, I'm Simone, she, her, and I am a professional advisor.
And Suchita?
Hi, I'm Sachita. My pronouns are she, her, and I was a youth advisor.
And last but not least, Karsha.
Hi, I'm Karsha. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a youth advisor, innovator.
Thank you. We're so excited to have you all here today to learn from you and to hear your experiences working together over the last few months. So to kick things off, I'm going to ask my first question to Corey. And Corey, I'd love for you to share with the rest of the audience, what was your advisory board experience like? How would you describe it to somebody who's never had an advisory board before?
I would say it's critical. Like you need water and food to survive, you need an advisory board. And I grew to learn that throughout this experience. From ideation to casting for our videos to production, we were able to expedite that because we had an advisor team. We're taking our product from business like registration, the very first step of doing this, to a beta launch in 6 months. And it would have been impossible if we didn't have both professional and youth advisors helping us on a variety of areas.
Thanks, Corey. And could you maybe kick us off with sharing a moment where your youth advisors really expanded your perception as a result and really impacted the structure and design of Movement Genius?
Absolutely. So one of the primary focuses for this time together was Sue and Karsha created a survey. And it was our first attempt reaching real young people instead of our perceived understanding of them through like social media and our own, digging of information. So this survey experience was a game changer, getting feedback from Karsha and Sue, not just reading the results, but having each of them help us unpack the findings. It was 100 youth we would never have reached otherwise. And I really believe that the reason it was so effective is because Sue and Karsha created it and distributed it. If it would have come from me or somebody else as a different demographic or a different age, I don't think that there would have been as much trust or feeling of safety in telling some of the findings that we had. Some very big takeaways that we learned is that young people want to see themselves or their future selves in the classes. So we took that information and revised our casting strategy. So when we just made 50 videos over the last 7 days, we were able to find like representation that kids are craving and desiring and specifically called out. And like I said, they were immediate findings that we were able to take and implement, and we would never have known any of that if it wasn't for Sue and Karsha's support.
Incredible. Thanks, Corey. So speaking of Sue and Karsha, I would love to have one or both of you answer the next question. What advice would you provide other young people serving as youth advisors for businesses?
For me, I'd say to really get involved in the community, and that could be done in so many different ways. Like, for example, joining like pre-existing organizations and just doing whatever you can to get yourself out there and connecting with people, because that's how you're kind of better able to assess the different needs of the community, and that's how you can better craft the type of advice that you give to your innovator.
I think my advice is definitely what Sue said, like being involved, but definitely communication. I feel like that was the most important thing as us two being youth advisors, because there were times where I was so lost. I would message Sue on Slack and I would figure out what I needed to do and when I needed to do it. So I think the number one key is communication.
Thank you both. And for our professional advisors, you had a unique role where you both supported the innovator. You both supported Corey and Allison with Movement Genius, but you also had an opportunity to work side by side with the youth. So could you share a little bit about what that experience was like and what advice you would give other professionals working with youth on an advisory board?
Yeah. So I thought I got a chance to work with the youth advisors when the survey came back, and we put together some personas for Movement Genius, which was really, really fun. But I think it helped us all, like it helped me understand their perspective and like where they're coming from and their needs. As well as I think it helped them kind of shape their ideas around business and how you need to really think about the persona and adjust your innovation in ways that you wouldn't think you would have to by just digging in a little bit deeper. So yeah, I think it was a really great experience.
Yeah, I would just add to that and kind of like riffing on what Corey said earlier, that you know, you can make a lot of assumptions about your personas or your core user type or the demographic you're trying to serve, but until you're really in a room with them and engaging with them and in a scenario where they feel, you know, free and open to communicate, you're not really knowing what they need exactly. So it was, yeah, a great opportunity here with the group to get that in the mix and really set a solid foundation for the future for that. And I think anybody that, anybody that's serving any type of demographic can benefit from having them in the room with them, but especially with young people.
Absolutely. And I know that there were a few aha moments throughout your experience all working together. Corey, I know you've shared that there were a few specifically with the professional advisors, a few with the youth advisors as well. Would you like to share maybe one or two of those aha moments for you where things really started to click into place and you felt like, okay, I'm really going to be able to take this moving forward as we continue to grow Movement Genius?
Yeah, absolutely. So a very early aha moment was when Adam so kindly encouraged us to simplify. And we have years of projections for how to develop into this intelligent technology company, but we just registered our business in December, and getting our MVP to market is really what's most important, and being able to test with these great youth connections now that we have. And so that was an aha moment for us, Adam helping us like focus on the most important thing and continuing to like keep us on track as we continue to expand what we hope to grow into. But the other thing that I would say was an aha moment was that if you're building for a demographic, you have to hire that demographic, because I have years of experience building businesses in marketing, and it's been to individuals who are my age or my generation or older. And I have learned through this process that it would be irresponsible for me to continue building Movement Genius without hiring young people. And so through this process, we're launching officially our youth council next month that will meet once every quarter at least, and be critical in the development of our brand, marketing, experience, et cetera. But I've also hired a Gen Z social strategist, a communication strategist. We're working with a couple different Gen Z networking groups. And again, that was just one of the biggest aha moments. It feels obvious now, but what a missed opportunity if I wouldn't have realized how important it is to work with the individuals that we are intending to serve.
Thanks, Corey. And I just wanted to share with the rest of our audience today that if you have any questions for Corey, for Simone or Adam, or for our two youth advisors, Karsha and Sue, feel free to add those into the chat. And in just a few minutes, we'll take questions from the audience if there's something specific we didn't get a chance to cover for you. So my next question is for the youth advisors. We've talked a lot about how you all have impacted Movement Genius and how grateful they are for their experience working with you. So I'm interested to hear the flip side of things. What was maybe a challenge you faced during your time on the advisory board that you were able to overcome?
I think definitely a challenge for me was when we were first doing the survey, when Corey said 100, she wanted 100 participants, I was a little bit, freaking out a little bit, like, how am I gonna get 100? I was like, oh my goodness. But I did end up doing it, and I tried to come out of my shy, I don't know how to say it, like shy shell. Definitely, for the first few Zooms that we had together, I was definitely very shy, but the more and more meetings we had together, that's when I was getting a little bit more comfortable with everybody else on Zoom and reaching my full extent.
How about you, Sue?
I think for me, it would be kind of helping to give constructive criticism because I haven't really been a part of the mental health scene for very long, or as long as Corey is Allison. So I don't have as much experience as they do, but it kind of helped to remember that I have frequent contact with people who kind of fit in with their target audience, and just offering my perspective and my ideas would kind of help them create a product that would be used by as many people as possible and kind of help create that positive impact within the community.
Thank you. And so just transitioning a bit, I'm interested in hearing from the professional advisors about the balance that you constantly had to play while working on the advisory board. So when providing the professional expertise to Allison and Corey, how did you balance being helpful in that subject matter expertise while also ensuring the young people in the room could understand you and engage with you, and that they were able to take away helpful information that could impact them in their future work?
I mean, I think I for those of you that don't know, I didn't mention this earlier, I'm a designer, so I'm often using jargon and terms, but nobody else understands in the room. So it's really important to dial that back and to create, an approachable situation where everybody understands and isn't feeling left out of what you're talking about because you're using a bunch of acronyms and jargon and stuff. And also creating an environment where everybody feels free to share ideas and not think that, it's a bad idea or it's a stupid idea or something like that. Just that, all ideas are good. We're all just sharing and kind of jamming on what we're talking about and trying to make it a fun and inclusive thing, and not this like exclusive world of those who already know about it. Because that's not what it should be, and not what we want it to be. So I think just setting that foundation is the most important part.
Yeah, I second that, Adam. I think it's just ensuring collaboration. So also not jumping to answer everything right away and leaving some space for others to jump in. I think that's always important. I know Karsha mentioned she gets shy. So maybe nudging her a bit to speak up, or just giving the space for her to have the time to speak up is always a good thing.
I love those tips. Corey, how did you create an environment where your youth advisors and your professional advisors could come as their authentic selves?
So Alice and I are pretty transparent and honest with our own past trauma, why we needed this when we were younger and still need it. Allison also had a bit of a human moment at the beginning during our first session where she like stumbled over some words and kind of had to like regroup. And I think that our own just honesty and transparency and sharing our story, and then also her just showing her humanity, it really helped everyone know that while Allison specifically comes with a large platform and years of experience in the spotlight, we're all just like humans with heartbeats and not robots that perform all the time. And we tried our best to not be the ones speaking because everyone has so much to share, so much life experience to share. And I think through us trying to keep quiet and then also prodding for more questions so that we could understand, truly listening to understand, it helped us to establish trust for ourselves with these advisors. And I feel like it was pretty mutual across the board.
That's incredible. And I mean, creating a safe and welcoming environment and showing up as your authentic selves. I mean, that's all about creating a great environment for youth. And one of the Headstream Youth Center design principles that you were able to incorporate. So really, really happy to see that was effective for you all. And then just for the youth advisors, because of this safe space, because of this environment that you were in, I'm interested in hearing what skills do you feel you gained as a result of being a part of this advisory board? Karsha or Sue, either one can take it.
I'd say overall, I've kind of learned to professionally network with not only Corey and Allison, but with the other Y2I innovators and other advisors as well. I've also been able to learn and develop skills on how to kind of express my ideas fully, because it's a completely different thing to sit here and think about ways that I could create something or execute something, but it's completely else to work as a team and kind of share ideas and how to constantly improve whatever goal we have in mind.
I think Sue definitely said one of my skills, expressing my ideas. Because at first, like I said before, like my shy shell, I feel like at first I was giving like bland ideas and I wasn't really, giving out the thoughts that I wanted to give out. But the more communication and the more involving I was getting, the more comfortable I got with the whole team.
Thank you. And at this time, if anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and you can directly ask our panelists.
I'm happy to ask one. Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle Ramo, Senior Director of Research at Hope Lab and also a Headstream advisor. Thank you all so much for sharing your experience today. Hope Lab has a youth advisory board, and we also have project-specific advisory boards a lot. And Corey, I was really interested in your particular experience and glad to see that Movement Genius was willing to share today, given your and Allison's background and experience of I know Allison's been very public about feeling taken advantage of by the entertainment industry. And I wonder if you could talk a little about how you're thinking about doing things differently for the young people that you work with at Movement Genius. Are you taking into account particular things or doing things differently in a very purposeful way? And what are some of those examples?
Yeah, great question. Allison has been really public, and there's been a bit of media around it the last few weeks. And then my experience is heavily in media and entertainment, making businesses work. But then for the last 4 years, I've worked with young people who are transitioning out of foster care. And part of that process is getting them into the workforce and figuring out how to create safe spaces for that, especially when they're carrying things that are untraditional, if you will, or trauma or something like that. So internship wise, we offer either paid internships, because many youth need the internship to be paid in order to participate, or we offer course credit. So it depends. We have a capacity of each per season, but having that flexibility seems to be really helpful. And young people who we've spoken with have said, I feel like now I can actually make a resume. Whereas before they were going to have to take some other kind of paying job that might not align with their ultimate goals. Within the structure of our daily work life, Allison and I candidly don't have the best balance, but we know boundaries and we help our team set them, because sometimes people are afraid to set them in, fear that they could be turned down for future opportunities. So what I like to do is create a roadmap of goals that are realistic. I encourage people to time block. So I teach a lot about time blocking. I also like to help narrow down the priorities. I think it's a startup, so there's a million things that need to be done at all times. So helping individuals understand where their area of responsibility is and the priorities within that are really helpful. I'm visual, so I usually do it in a spreadsheet and then give that as a resource so that whoever we're working with can use that as a guide. And they have their own methods of communication and productivity, but it almost helps give them permission to shut their computer off. Because that balance is really critical. And if anyone's going to get burnt out, it better not be the people who are working for us. We firmly believe that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you to our panel today. All of the Movement Genius advisory team, you all were such a pleasure to work with through this experience. And I'm so excited for all the learnings that came out of your work together, and for the Movement Genius team to continue to iterate and work together. I know you're all going to continue to work with Karsha and Sue even in this next phase of your business. So congratulations on all your hard work, and big round of applause to our entire panel today for their time. I'm just going to pass it over to Mina to close us out.
Awesome. Thank you, Marie. And thank you so much to everybody on the Movement Genius team. It's so rich hearing that all of the learnings that came out of this. And I want to encourage people that if you didn't get to ask a question today, or if you're inspired, or if you're like, wow, how so much impact, so much inspiration, we have an active Headstream Slack community that has over 200 young people from across the United States. And I encourage you all to get on that Slack community and to participate and to reach out to young people that will make your own businesses, your own networks, and your community more youth-centered. And so Marie is going to put that in the chat. And as it is now 5 o'clock, I just wanted to highlight that on this line, we are going to have our next session, empowering users to creators, with some of our Y2I leaders, 2 Y2I leaders from each of our 3 programs. There will also be the innovator thematic discussion on transforming wellness, specifically focusing on digital health and wellness. So thank you all so much. Thank you again to our speakers, and continue to hip, hip, hooray. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, awesome. Where's Kristen? Make host.
Cool. Are you ready for me to let everyone in?
Yes, go ahead.
Awesome.
Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome. How are y'all doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a little chilly here, Mina. How about you?
I don't know, but it's sunny on the East Coast, and that's all that matters. We got some sunshine out here. Or it looks like it.
Yeah, I think it's like almost 80 degrees. And it's gonna be nice tomorrow too. I'm literally so excited.
Yay.
We have like super strange weather here where it's like 70 something degrees and there's still like unmelted snow.
Snow? Wait, what state?
Ohio.
Ohio is like almost East Coast.
Sort of. It might as well be. It's in the same time zone. But yeah, there's also lots of geese. The geese right now like act super tough, but they're actually shedding their flight feathers. So that's a fun fact.
I thought Ohio was considered the Midwest.
It's the Midwest, but it's in the Eastern time zone.
Woo, everybody get hyped. Everybody get hyped. This is a room full of awesome young people. Cool, we're just
Are you all coming from other HIF sessions today?
Switching between rooms, I think many of us.
Cool, awesome. Well, I think folks are going to continue to trickle in, but I am going to kick us off. And so, hello, everybody, and welcome to this really awesome session that we are calling Empowering Users to Creators. I am particularly really excited about this session because I feel like it kind of really explains and builds off of the entire ideas behind Headstream's youth programs. And so many of you might have heard today this term Y2I, Youth to Innovator. What does that mean? And so ultimately what that means is that we have 3 different programs: the Y2I Advisory Board, the Y2I Incubator, and the Y2I Alumni Board Opportunity, where basically a cohort of over 30 young people are actively working on a scale and a ladder of the ultimate youth empowerment. What does it mean to empower young people to be an advisor, as we just saw in our previous session, to be a part of a design process? And once young people are inspired to design and to be a part of a contributing business, what does it mean for us to give them the resources, the tools, and the access to actually build their own businesses and to be those entrepreneurs who are building part of this new ecosystem that Headstream is designing for? And obviously we can't just have young people then go off and not have support. And that's where we have our alumni board, where they're not only continuing their own inspirations and projects, but they are a source of inspiration for all of the other Y2I programs and giving that empowerment back to their peers. And so what's particularly special is that we have 2 folks from each of our Y2I programs actually giving that back in this space on what does it mean to actually empower a user to be a creator? And more importantly, how are we going to really tease into this crazy space that is social technology? What does it mean to actually hear from young people? What are the things you like about social media? What are the things you don't like about social media? And most importantly, what can we actually do if we are trying to create a net new wave of social technology? And so I just want to take a moment for the ease of today's session. We're going to have different players in this room. And so I would love if we could take a moment. If you are a Y2I leader who is going to be a facilitator, please, next to your name, put yourself down as Y2I leader. If you are a young person that is joining and you are here for the fun, please put yourself down as a youth. If you are a really awesome and humbling adult that is here to learn and hear from the young people in this space, please put yourself down as an adult. I think this is gonna, though it sounds dichotomous, you're ultimately going to learn from each other in the breakout rooms that you enter. And so with that, I have gassed them up enough. I am going to have you all introduce yourselves with your name, your pronouns, and the Headstream program that you're representing, starting with you, Primo.
Thank you so much, Mina. Welcome, everyone. It is so lovely to see all of your faces. My name is Primo. I use they, he pronouns. I am a member of the Y2I Alumni Board, so we are alumni from the inaugural Y2I 2020 cohort. And I will pass it to my fellow alumni board member, Ebby.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Primo. My name is Ebby, and I'm also on the Y2I Alumni Board. I also serve as a current Y2I advisor, and my pronouns are she, her. I'll pass it off to Nathan.
I'm Nathan. I am currently a member of the Y2I Advisory Board, and I use he, they pronouns. And I am going to go ahead and pass it off to Ashley.
Thanks, Nathan. Hey, everyone. My name is Ashley. I use she, her pronouns. I am also a current Y2I advisor, and I will pass it on to Bomi.
Hi, everyone. My name's Bomi. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a part of the Y2I Incubator Board. And I'll pass it on to my fellow incubator partner.
Hi, I'm Lex. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm also on the Y2I Incubator, and I'm super excited. Was that everyone? Yeah, I'll hand it back to Mina.
Awesome, cool. So I'm gonna hand it over to you, Nathan, to kind of walk everybody through what we're gonna do today.
All right, so today we are doing, as the title of the session says, we are inspiring you guys to create. We are all users of social media platforms, so we know what we like and we know what we don't like, and we're probably very opinionated about it. So we're going to start off with a brain dump to kind of get all those thoughts out. We're going to discuss that, and then we're going to go into a design session, which basically just means we are going to take the ideas that we don't like around the culture of social media, and we're going to translate that into features or other things that we think would create a more positive experience. And I'm gonna hand it back to Mina because I think we're about to go into breakout rooms.
Yes, awesome. So our fabulous Zoom master is going to put us into breakout rooms. Since we are a little bit of a smaller group, we, instead of having 6 breakout rooms, we are going to have 3 breakout rooms for awesomeness to happen. So Kristen, whenever you're ready.
Whew.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Last night it was like a mess. The 2-hour run through, nobody knew. Like, it was just too messy. So apologies that I didn't clarify that, but I don't think it makes a difference if they are co-hosts and they're not recording.
Okay. Yeah, and we only have 2 adults.
That's fine. As long as Kelsey's with Primo, that's all that matters.
It's so funny because when I saw her join, I was like, yep, going with him. Okay, so Dammy, do you know who she is?
Yes.
I'm gonna put her in room 3.
Okay, great. Also, is it possible for me to maybe move around?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let me know
great.
where you want to go.
I'll just message you each time. Just put me with the top room and then I'll message you when I want to move. Hey, Damie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hello. So since we are just starting our activity, I just wanted to let you all know, as new folks in the room, we are going through a design sprint together on what does it mean to build the next wave of social technology. If you are representing the youth perspective, please next to your name, put youth. If you're representing the adult perspective, please label yourself as adult. This is going to be really helpful as we put people together.
Okay, will do.
Great. I am sending you to the room. Where did Keith go?
Did he leave?
Yeah.
Probably like I'm at the wrong session. Okay, it's not that bad that there aren't that many people here.
No. I mean, it is towards the end of the day, and this is a really long event. So people do start trickling out towards the end.
Yeah. Let me message Primo. I want him to know.
Oh, one confusion thing though that I saw in the thing, it says close the Zoom room at 4:30. Did you just mean don't let anybody else in?
Yes.
Cool. So nothing to do with the breakout. They're in breakouts until 4:45.
Yeah. So you are good.
Cool.
If you can just, I'm going to message you on Slack to just move me around. Can you put me in the first room?
Yes. Goodbye. Hi, Elizabeth. We are in breakout rooms. So I am going to send you across to one of the rooms right now.
Hey, I'm back.
Hey.
Oh, there's somebody in the waiting room. You can make me co-host and then I can go back to that other room.
It looks like you're already co-host.
Oh, weird. Am
Where should I put this person?
I? You can put them back in the room I was in.
It looks like you have 5 now, though.
Stephanie's from Second Muse, though.
Oh, got it. Hi, Grace. We are in breakout rooms right now, so I am going to send you to one of them. Okay, I don't think my recording is working, but I think that's okay. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna jump into room 2 and make sure everything's going okay. Cool.
Hey.
This is so weird. It says you're co-host too.
I just got recording capabilities when I came in here.
Yeah.
Okay, send me back to that room.
Got it.
God bless.
Room 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It still says you're in room 1. It says not joined. You don't have a notification up there, do you? All right, let me put you in 2 and then put you back in 1.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone had like a really fruitful and innovative and interesting time in their breakout rooms. I know we did in our breakout room. And I think I'll pass it over to Abby to sort of lead us through this moment we're gonna share out and see the fruits of our intellectual labor.
Awesome. So we're going to share out, I think is Mina in the room yet? Okay, we're going to go through each of our Jamboards and have one person from each group kind of share out on the culture that you targeted and those features that you targeted. So Mina will be sharing her screen. And yeah, let's get started with a person from group one. Each person will present for around 60 seconds or so, just for timing. Group one, go ahead.
We actually didn't decide a person to present. Would anyone like to volunteer to do that out of our group? No? Okay, then I can do it. So our idea for what we decided we wanted to talk about in our culture was developing online friendships that are as fulfilling as real life friendships. Because especially in the panorama that we're living through, the pandemic, sorry, I always do that. We want to have friends that we can talk to as much as we want by popping open a computer instead of driving halfway across the city to see them. And we can't really do that right now anyways. So we decided that we wanted to have more customization and more of a chance to really get in depth about a person and what they like and who they are. And we decided to do this in a similar way to Discord or Slack by having interest groups where we could just click on a chat and we could go, oh, wow, this is the memes channel. And we could see here, if we go to a person's profile, you can see what they like, and the highlighted ones would be like the mutual ones. So you could have, they're everything that you need to know about a person on their profile so that you can kind of weed out people you don't really want to talk to. And there would also be a way to verify identity for safety, but also perhaps if you were really struggling to make some friends, you could have like a matchmaking thing where you could meet people through fun icebreaker questions and shared interests.
Awesome. This sounds great, actually. Does the next group want to present? I see using anonymity for positivity instead of negativity. That's an interesting one. I'm intrigued. Is there someone who can present from that group?
Yeah. So our group talked about how we noticed a lot of social media comments and like posts focused around really negative things. And we were wondering how like being anonymous like promoted people feeling like they can just say anything that they want, even if it's like really hurtful or kind of mean. But on the other hand, we also noticed that a lot of people feel more comfortable like saying positive things and like giving compliments online because they don't feel the awkwardness of like actually like saying it and like being in a non-anonymous form. So we wanted to design features that promoted people saying nice things and not just like mean comments. So one thing we noticed is that in a lot of comment sections on posts, the people who comment tend to have something negative to say because the people who liked it just like it and they move on and they don't really say anything. So one feature that we designed is like a pre-populated positive comment that shows up really large under the post. So that way, if someone like likes it, then that'll pop up and they can pick like something nice to say. And even if they themselves didn't like spend that much time writing the comment, when you receive it, like you still feel nice because you feel like you got complimented. And then also for like negativity, like sometimes people do need a place to express when they don't like something, but how can we do it in a way that's like the least harmful to like the person who originally posted it? So we were thinking that when you hit a dislike button, it doesn't show how many dislikes or like downvotes the post has, but instead it pops up this form that's of the form like, I think you should do more of blank because blank. So that way, content creators who turn on this feature can choose to receive feedback from their followers if they want to, but it's also like in this predetermined format so that people don't feel like they can just like say whatever. And it encourages them to think about it in a constructive way. So yeah.
I love the nuance in this creation. Yeah, I think it's really cool. The last group is my group, actually. Amin, do you want to go ahead and present on cancel culture?
So our culture that we picked was like the issue of cancel culture. So basically we were all talking about it and we were wondering like why this happened and like what features and stuff. So we talked about lack of context is something that's something that causes cancel culture sometimes, and kind of like getting lost in so many like threads and posts that you really don't know what's happening. So like something we thought was a plugin or like an add-on that would like give you a pop-up warning if it detected like a lot of threads or like a lot of context, and like there would be a see history button where you could say like oh, like I want to see this history, and it shows you the context so you know what you're looking at, why this is happening, instead of just seeing all the hate. There would be like more flagging. Something it would tell you like, hey, like this is your context for the post, and like this is to help you understand the culture behind the issue. And oh, you'll see a little pop up there. It's like, hey, you're viewing a high context post. So that would pop up and tell you that if you know, there's a lot of context that's not being shown. That's the main feature we were focusing on.
Amazing, yeah. I think there's all the groups, right? You can stop sharing. So yeah, let's take some time to just reflect on what we've just done. We've tackled cancel culture, we've tackled anonymity and the nuance surrounding that, friendships. These are such big areas and cultures in social media, and this is just a 1 hour session. So I'm going to ask 2 questions to kind of close off in a reflective and also empowering way. So first, what are your takeaways from this session? If you were to tell people, hey, I participated in a 1 hour session on empowering users to creators, what's something that you can say you took away from today's session? And second, how do you plan on taking those takeaways, those learnings, and using them to positively uplift digital spaces? So I'll copy and paste these into the chat, and feel free to unmute to share in the chat your reflection.
I have a reflection. For one, you are all phenomenal designers. This is honestly like a work of art. No, but I think one thing that I'm taking away from today is something I knew, but it's always helpful to see, is that like in like an hour, we were able to basically create prototypes to some of the hardest challenges that happen on social technology. And so I'm just like, okay, I need to put young people in more spaces of power. So y'all are gonna do the good stuff, because these are very real solutions. And so I guess that's also part of like, what am I going to do to make these come to life? I'm going to make sure that there are more opportunities for young people like yourself to be in spaces where these things can be created.
Totally.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I second what Mina said, and I'm just so impressed and inspired. I work on the impact campaign for the documentary, The Social Dilemma, and I work specifically on our Gen Z engagement. And we're always talking about like, what is the best way to empower and uplift young people? And a lot of our conversation revolve around like, how can we get them offline and doing other things? But what I took away from my group is that online experiences can be enormously fulfilling, in some cases more fulfilling than offline experiences for some groups of people. And so I want to just take those learnings back to my team and my campaign, and think about how we can work with Gen Z to reform what we're doing online and not just getting off of offline, which is sort of a cop out in some ways.
For sure. Does anyone else have any takeaways they want to share really quickly? Just one more person.
I will jump in. I will say what was really cool about this experience, and I think what I took away is just the importance of intergenerational partnerships and really cross-sector partnerships in doing this design work. I mean, like, just kind of like the diversity of experiences represented in the Zoom room I was part of was so helpful in thinking about the culture and the future in new ways. So definitely want to do more of this, and really grateful to Headstream for bringing together all of these awesome people together.
I love that, intergenerational connections and conversations. That's a beautiful segue into our next section for gratitude. I'm going to pass it off to Mina to close off.
Thank you, Abby. I feel like this conversation is like just getting started. As I mentioned before, I wanted to mention again, in Headstream, we have an active Slack community where honestly you can continue conversations like this. And so that's something that we can post in the Attendify activity stream. So if you want to continue having conversations with super cool youth, please do so. But also this final question that Abby was asking us, like, what do you plan on taking away from here? And also, how are you going to do your part in the systems that you make up to bring these things to life? And that can be a part of our gratitude. And so whether it's something you learned today, something that you're going to put into action, or just something that you're going to be like, yeah, I left with a really cool design. I would love to hear little tokens of gratitude. And go ahead and just unmute yourself and talk.
I can hop in here. I think something I learned and I'm also grateful for is the fact that like we tackled like cancel culture, which seems like this huge, big, daunting aspect of social media. But really, like, 5 people in a breakout room on Zoom came up with a concrete feature that is like even like logistically and like technically speaking, not that difficult to implement on platforms that could improve this culture on social media. And so I'm going to do my part to go forward as a youth and occupy any space that is available to me to help create these features and these technologies, because it's totally possible. We just did it here. It's 100% possible. So we just have to do it, and we have to access the resources that will allow us to do it.
Okay, I can go. I am actually very grateful to like again see the power of youth as someone who's creating an innovation like for the youth, like seeing like especially the brainstorming session was just amazing. I came in a little bit late, but I was just like, whoa, they got like crazy features and like someone's like designing and I'm like, whoa, I need to have that for my product. So hiring all of you, just hit me up. Let's do more.
I'll jump in our final minute here. I have so much gratitude every time I'm on a call with young people because you guys demand better. I feel like every time that we have these conversations about the future of technology, you're like, no, it should be better. It could be better, and let's do it. And so I just have so much admiration and respect, and like Mina and everyone here, just want to get behind you all.
Can I say one last thing? I want to say this. I'm sorry. I want to say this because I got out of high school and I hated school and I went to fix it. So you could do the same thing. Whatever you hate, whatever, if it's like the spaces on the internet, the physical spaces you live in, go fix it. We're young. I'm super young too. So like I totally I'm with you guys. Go fix it. Don't wait. Because you'll get there, and then one day, like, your kids, or maybe if you have kids, like, they're gonna be going through the same thing. So let's fix it now and not wait till later. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, I'm loving the energy in this room. Go out and take up space, make action. Let's make this happen. Let's create the next wave of social technology. Woo. Thank you all so much for joining this session. Thank you to our Y2I leaders. Thank you to our participants. And hip, hip, hooray. Bye, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Goodbye.